evening, friends, and welcome to yet another very interesting session with Desh Kapoor. And in today's session, we'll be covering a lot of events, a lot of news. In fact, is that especially with what Rahul Gandhi has made another blunder, and also the fact that Trump, has set his, he's changing his policies every now and then, and also the fact that is Imran Khan alive or is he dead? So all these topics we'll be discussing in detail in this session. And welcome, Desh. Thanks for coming.
Thanks, Jadev. Thanks. Like it's always great to
So
be here.
now coming to the last story, Desh is that last point is that Trump has escalated his hardline immigration rhetoric by announcing a sweeping suspension on migration from third world countries following the fatal shooting of two National Guard members near the White House. And the incident has been termed as an act of terror. And so he has not, categorically said that the third world countries, could include, India. So, what do you have to say about this?
See, it's a very there are multiple layers to this story, right? One is obviously about what he's trying to say that um, like he's going to suspend all the immigration from third world countries. Especially, he's going to review the green cards also from there, from people who are there, and like he is like really talking about Afghanistan, Pakistan, and such countries. So in a way, he has termed this as an act of terror, like you just said, and they are going ahead giving that national security justification for the suspension of migration from certain countries. They haven't specified which countries. So there is a strong one public like sentiment against folks coming from the Islamic countries, or at least the developing countries. That's what he's using for all this, and he's linking migration to terror logistics. That's the basic narrative, because like migration creates the terrorism argument. Like that's what his argument is. So in a way, that may be a very strong kind of a sell that he's trying to make, especially to his MAGA group. So that helps him. The other thing is there are now reports which say actually this guy, I think Ramanullah
Lakanwal, yeah.
Lakanwal, and that's the guy. He actually had links with ISI. He fought along with the along with the US Army within Afghanistan against Taliban. But in the last few months, he has had links and connections with the ISI. That's what the report is coming out. So if he had links with the ISI, then it becomes a like wider issue, because like what that means is Pakistan's ISI, by showing that an Afghan killed a White House National Guard, would try to push US to get involved in Afghanistan versus Pakistan. So they are portraying Afghans as a bad people, whereas it is the ISI which may have instigated this whole thing. So there is a multiple set of layers working here, because everyone is trying to milk this whole thing, this event or this incident, like in a different way. So we have to be, really be aware of what they're trying to do, because one, US should not come back to Pakistan, to Afghanistan, although they want to get the Bagram the airbase. So that is like one thing that they really want. Now, can they use this kind of incident to create kind of like an invasion of Afghanistan, like they had done earlier, to get Bagram? Maybe they can, but will that be successful going forward? I don't know. So Pakistan is trying to play its own games, whereas Trump has started the rhetoric of like migration is equal to terrorism, which can have wider implications, not just for a few countries. So, like I don't know if you have seen that or not. In Canada, Khalistani's actions are actually creating a lot of consternation with the Canadians, the white Canadians. And what they are trying to say, on Twitter, it's all over the place that they should be sent back to India. Obviously, the Indians say that why should you send them to India when you are the ones who created it? Because they are the ones who created Khalistan. So why should India accept all the dirt from you, like like when you are the ones who created it? So you need to handle it like yourself. So so this whole migration policy has not always been a very innocent thing. Like migration, there are enough people. I met a guy, a kid, somewhere. He was doing some catering or whatever, and so he was talking in a very Haryana kind of accent. So I asked him, I said, so how did you come? And he wasn't very educated. He said, through asylum. I said, through asylum? How? Like what is happening in Haryana that you were eligible for asylum? He said, Modi ji doesn't let us do any protests. I said, really? That was the argument he used to get asylum within the US. And like you can't blame him or you can't blame the lawyers also, because actually the US establishment wanted that thing to happen, because that becomes an evidence of atrocity literature against Modi ji.
When
And
was that? When was that? Which year?
just last year.
So when Biden was in.
Yeah, when Biden was there, yes. And
Uh,
actually, I read in one of the think tanks report that a lot of people are taking asylum from India because of the persecution by Narendra Modi government. Because that is the entire narrative that they use. So migration, the entire immigration, policy and all the stuff that happens is not that innocent. The US establishment, the US intelligence, the US authorities use that to target certain countries. And the same goes for like Canada as well. How they have used Khalistan to target India. So they are not innocent. So if the Canadians think that India sent the Khalistanis over there, then they are really mistaken. It's actually Canada who created the Khalistanis themselves. You know, there are enough evidence, documented evidence, that CSIS, like which is the Canadian intelligence, had actually seen the two terrorists who were testing out the bomb in one of the forests before they actually went and bombed the Kanishk. And like there is enough evidence, so they knew these are the guys. They are testing out a bomb. They are going to actually place it on the plane. They knew all those things, and still it happened. And when it happened, those entire terrorists, the entire like group of terrorists, they went scot free. Only one person was arrested, and even he went out like after some years, like 2 or 3 years back. So nothing happened to anyone, and 329 people lost their lives. That is how horrific the record of the Canadians are, like is actually like in this terrorism thing. How they back such people, and they show that nothing is happening. We are a country of rule of law. They are not. And the similar kind of things about immigration is what actually the US establishment also uses. So if they want to stop all that, fantastic. Clean up the immigration policy. Make it such that only the right people come in. Don't let all these folks come in. Fantastic. Great. We'll all support it. But will the US intelligence support it? That's a question that they need to ask.
Yeah, also coming to this guy Ramanullah Lakanwar, they say that he was suspected to work with the CIA in Afghanistan at one point of time.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that is how he got the immigration. That is how he got the asylum. When like US came out and he showed that he was working against Taliban along with the CIA and helping CIA within Afghanistan, that's how he got the asylum. And he was one of those few ones who actually got it. Most of the people didn't even get that. And the last few months or few weeks, actually, he has had contacts with the ISI folks. That's what the reports are saying now. So basically, ISI was also grooming him for their own purposes to show that it was actually an Afghan who shot at the White House National Guard when the trigger was pressed by somebody else.
Yeah, so we'll have to wait and watch. If US and Pakistan, they think of taking the airbase, the Bagram.
Right. Yeah, I think that's what they're trying to do. They are trying to create a narrative so that US can go back to Afghanistan. So,
Yeah,
good, bad, or whatever it is, I think that's what they're trying to do.
yeah. So we'll have to wait and see how things, progress from this point of time. And Desh ji, that was a wonderful session. Thanks for coming again, and we will see you again next week.
Thank you. Thanks so much, Adev.
Yeah. Jai Hind and
Jai
Jai
Hind.
Shri Ram.
Jai Shri Ram.